Hi guys, Patrick here, Ignore Poker. We're going to be jumping straight into 100 NL Zoom, so let's go. Bit of a late one today. Pool seems so-so. Quite a few recreational players, a couple of really tight players. So we're going to see what we can start doing. Deuces in the small blinds, going to be folding here. Over 200 subs now. Really exciting, and thank you again so much to everyone who's been supporting the channel. Really appreciative. Thank you so much, guys. Again, if you're new to the channel, please like, please comment, please subscribe, join the group link, and as always the link to the Discord and the Twitch channel is in the description below, so please check it out. 6-2 suited against a 3x. I think we're going to be folding this one. See if we can find some interesting scenarios in tonight's video. 5-6 suited in the hijack. We're going to need a slightly higher roll to be opening this one. And same with the jack 8. Recreational opening in the hijack and a recreational behind. I think calling is the best option here. See if we can get a cheap flop, maybe flop set. See what we can do. Gonna be awkward if this dude folds. Kind of hoping he just calls. If he folds, we'll probably be just letting it go. With the call, we are going to be calling. See if we can do some damage. That is not quite the damage we're looking to be doing. I think the double king ace is going to hit both ranges pretty hard. Could just be drawing dead. I'm debating whether or not to bluff here. I think this would be a little bit ambitious. However, if we were going to be doing a bluff, it would be with some underpairs, and we have a club as well. However, I think it's just a little bit too ambitious in these scenarios with the hijack open, big blind 3-bet and hijack call. Maybe if the river, if we check through to the river, we might be able to do some blasting. It's conceivable for the hijack to have at some frequency ace king and a decent amount of flushes here as well, so I think we're just going to be pitching this one. Could maybe have done some bluffing if we were heads up against the hijack at some point. Very low frequency open with the 9-10. See if we can do some shenanigans with the queen 3 suited. We will be defending in the big blind with a small amount of 3-bet. Flopping second pair. I think we could do a small amount of check raising if we want to. I've rolled a 1, so I think we're going to be calling. Not leading this turn. Sometimes check raising. Against 2x overbet, I think we're just going to be folding. Opening the a7 offsuit. We'll be folding to 3-bet. We're not going to be doing anything with this one. Some suited ace-6, we could do some 4-betting and calling. A7 off will be an easy pitch. If we get 3-bet, that is. Love the stream, haha. Thank you, man. See if we can just drag this. Unfortunately, this is really kind of tilting, so I want to respond to this gentleman for saying a very nice, kind word. However, my HUD is actually in the way. Let's see if I can take that off. There we go. Onto the chat. Love the stream and YouTube's videos, buddy. Thanks. That's very nice. We can do a small amount of betting, or we can do checking. I believe both are fine. I'm going to check on a 1. Decent amount of showdown value here. And I think we're just going to be trying to get showdown with our ace-7. If villain bets in this line, I might find a raise. Might be going for some thin value with something like 8s. We could conceivably call. I think against population, I just don't think they find enough check delayed small bets for anything other than thin value, so I'm going to find a raise this time. See if we can bin something like a weak queen, or maybe like 8s. This isn't the best candidate to do it with, but I really want to try and get my exploit shoes on. We may have checked something like ace-king, king-queen, queens, and then played similar. Or any king for that matter. Pocket 3s could be in there as well. We get the fold. Not saying that's the best candidate to find as a check raise. With such a good price, ace high could even just be conceivably a call, but I'll be honest with you guys, I'm really starting to favour just some exploit adjustments in these fields where I feel like people just are not finding the correct lines to bluff with, and every time we find a good call, it's just not becoming a good call. So kind of favouring slightly over bluffing in most scenarios, and over folding as well. Let's go put the tracker back on. Nine through deuce, we can do some checking. We don't really open 3s and deuces. Villain's going to have those. Villain's going to have some 3 deuce suiteds. It's going to have some sets that we don't have. I think I prefer some small bet or check. I don't mind going a little bit bigger either, but I just think because Big Blind has such a nut advantage here, that it's kind of hard to just like bet really, really big and then face really, really huge raises. When we bet small and get check raised with a spade in our hand, I don't think we get to fold to 1 bet, so I'm going to call in position. It is a pretty big, well, it's not actually that big check raise, to be fair. Should even probably be bigger. So we're still ahead of loads of flush draws and bits and bobs. I'm debating just folding though against pot. I think we now have loads of 9x, loads of pairs, loads of over pairs, loads of hands that have picked up equity on the turn, loads of hands that could continue against this size, and I'm just going to pitch the 7s. To be fair, when a fish check raises and snap pots the turn, you probably just beat anyway, but it is what it is. Don't want to just be bet folding pairs on the flop, especially when we bet small. Folding our ace-3 off. And I think we're going to be folding the 9-10 off against a 2.5, I believe. I think we're defending closer against a 2 or 2.2. I think 2.5 is very close. And we're going to be opening our jack-9 off. I'm not going to be doing any limping 100 NL. I think the rake is a bit too high, and I think the blinds are still underplaying and not aggressive enough to punish any limping. So I think it's better just to be playing a lot of opening and folding. 10-8 deuce, I don't mind checking. I don't mind betting. I think I'm going to check this time. Don't mind check raising. Don't mind check calling. We're going to have an advantage with pocket 10s. We're going to have all of the aggressive hands. A lot of hands are not going to want to bet this board though, so I don't mind having some open enders in that checking range. And if we're going to do a delayed C bet here, I think I like quite a large size. Repping over pairs, repping 10x, things like that, pocket 9s. I think we're going to do a small over bet. This is what I want to be doing if I was with my value. I don't think betting small accomplishes too much. Oh, fine gentleman here is in the tank. It's not the best card because we would be not checking and overbetting an 8, and the villain's going to have some 8s. However, we've only got jack high, we unblock diamonds. I think again I'd be mostly going big bet or check, so I'm going to go for a large size. We could potentially do some small sizes as well, but because we block a couple of the straight draws, I think I want to put maximum pressure on his middling pair range. Pocket 5s, pocket 7s, something like that. So I'm saying I have like ace 10, king 10, over pairs, some boats, some 8x occasionally, but very rarely, things like that. I don't mind, again, I really don't mind a small bluff there either though. If we're trying to make hands like straight draws, flush draws fold, I'd rather bet small. However, because I block some of those, I think I'm just going to elect for a really large size. And we're folding our king 5 offsuit. Seven 6 offsuit. I think if it folds around, I will be opening it because we've got a recreational. I'm going to exploitatively open 2.5 instead of 3, just because the guys here's got quite a small stack. I'm going to change his tag because he's 14.92, so I'm going to be changing him over to the tighter tag rather than just the general recreational. And king 7 a little bit too loose to be opening in the cutoff. We do have a recreational, however. But I think king 7's just a little bit too loose to open. We'll be folding the king deuce as well to an open. We'll take the fold. Ace king. Gonna be opening this one. Mr. Vinook does not want to play. Easy pitch with the 5-3. As is the 5-7. And the queen 6. Fold, 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 fold. Opening the king jack. I think we can open this one. We'll be folding 2-3 bets if we get there. Easy fold. It's quite a nice pool this evening. Everyone's either got quite shortish stacks of quite a few recreationals and not really any death crushers in here, I don't think, by the look of it. So that's quite a nice pool to be in. I was going to say the 9-8 off isn't a great hand to open on the button, but with a short stack on the small blind, I don't mind opening it. Ace queen, see if we can get something going here. So we're going to be doing some mixing between calling and 3-betting versus the cutoff. I have rolled a 3-bet. So raising this one up. Cutoff's got an 80% fold to 3-bet, so I'm going to elect to overbluff. This king 7 is not really approved and it's a little bit naughty, but I'm just going to use my exploitative side here. If this is going to work 28 out of 36 times, I'll take it. probably get punished, but YOLO. Tanking is bad. I think if he had a hand that was going to fold, he would have already folded. King 7's not too bad to continue bluffing here. We don't 3-bet 4s or 5s or deuces a whole bunch. He's going to have them as raised calls. So I think if I'm going to bet, I'm going to be betting a bit bigger. I've rolled 84 and we've got some good backdoors and a little bit of removal. But again, blocking king's kind of bad. His ace-x are going to continue. So we're probably going to be looking to do a bit of a barreling. Let's start with a large size this time. Mostly betting big or check, I believe. I mean, technically, you could argue that maybe betting small might actually be better because we don't have 4s, deuces, or 5s at a whole bunch of frequencies, but we do have a load of overpairs that he doesn't have. So we picked up a gut shot, we blocked 6-7, we blocked pocket 7s as a continue. There are a bunch of club combos and floats that are going to have to fold to a big bet on the turn, so let's go ahead and continue blasting. And we will be shoving the river. And we take it down, nice, we'll take that. Jack 9 off, we can open in the hijack. I'm a little bit wary because we've got this small blind with a very short stack. However, he is extremely tight, so I don't mind just opening this. Don't think I'm going to get 3-bet a whole bunch unless this guy's got really, really good hands. And we've got quite a taggy big blind as well, so. Queen 6, we're going to be pitching. Pocket aces. See if we can make something work with this one. Nice pair of pretty ones. And we're getting open. Lovely. And a 3-bet. Lovely. We are going to be cold 4-betting this one. We don't have to have aces to do that. Don't have to go too huge here because I do look quite strong. This might actually be slightly too big. But it's okay, I guess. It does look extremely strong though. But again, I'm going to be 3-betting some hands like King Jack suited and so on. So don't need the nuts. I think King 4 suited is just a little bit out there to 3-bet. I think we're looking for either King 5 or King 6, I believe. I think King 4 is a little bit loose. Also, I'm wary of the 3x against a recreational short stack. It's usually pretty strong, so. Wouldn't be usually too thrilled about calling 3x on the button with 5s that often. I think we're mostly folding with some calling, maybe a tiny bit of 3-betting, but I think because we've got another recreational in the small blind and I don't have any stacks on the big blind, so I'm going to see if I can get away with a call. Play some multi-way action in position with a pure. I think we make quite a lot more money than we're supposed to against recreationals in this spot. So the big blind's going to have a decent amount of 9x. UTG's got some 9x, and the button's absolutely got some 9x. We've got hands like 8-9 suited, 9-10 suited, etc. I don't mind betting or checking this. I think both are probably fine. I'm going to start on a check with a small roll. It's going to put us in some tough spots, but betting and getting binned also sucks. I think we've got just a clear call here. I don't think raising makes too much sense, especially with the big line behind. And we can easily just be ahead of some ace highs, king highs, etc. That might just be taking a delayed stab. Hoping that he just checks now. I would assume he would be just checking ace king, ace queen, ace jack if he stabbed the turn. I really want to hero call this because he doesn't really rep overpairs very well. And recreationals don't really trap check the flop, but they don't really bluff rivers a whole bunch either. I want to call this one. Nice. Going to be playing for about 5 more minutes. We'll take a 25-minute video on this one. So, ace-10 suited would be doing a decent amount of 3-betting, some calling. We've rolled a call, so I'm going to call. Also, one thing to notice, make sure I time bank here so I don't talk a whole bunch of time out. We've got a short stack on the small blind and the big blind. So, I think, I'm trying to think if I prefer 3-betting. Probably not, because if we 3-bet and this guy shoves, we kind of induce this guy to stick a load of money in. Maybe if we call, he might just call behind and we play in position. So, let's do that. Good check from Villain. Villain is supposed to be doing a decent amount of checking out position or small betting on the monos. I'm going to be checking this one back. We don't have a whole bunch of aces or queens in this position. We're going to have plenty of hands that can stab and blast. I think we're mostly just checking ace 10. Betting and getting raised would be a disaster. Plus Villain still has plenty of hands for value. I'm going to check again on this one. And we're going to be looking to call rivers. Or bet ourselves. Try and target like king, queen, ace 8, ace 7 suited, etc. We're not too thrilled with this. And again, disclaimer, we're probably just beat with the large size. But I'm not going to fold on this line. Nasty river. Nice hand, nice hand, nice hand. Pocket jacks can do some 3-betting and some calling. We've rolled a call, so we are going to be calling. Very bad board for UTG. They should be checking a lot here. And they do. This might be quite a good play by the look of it. Let's tag them as a good rec for now. And again, we're going to have a decent amount of pairs here. We're going to have a decent amount of connectors. We're going to have some hands I don't want to bet. I think jacks don't mind adding into a bet here. I think I'm mostly mixing between probably all sizes, to be fair. UTG is going to have way more overpairs, but they're not going to have a bunch of these connected hands that we're going to have here sometimes. We can absolutely do some calling with some connectors sometimes, some calling with pairs sometimes. We're going to have a bit more of a slightly more condensed range than the UTG's opening range. I'm going to pitch this 5-3 off. Pocket kings. See if we can do something with cowboys. I would like to make this more, please, dealer, if possible. Oh, we're going to be 4-betting and getting this one in. We always have 4-bet spots that just look so strong. We're just cold 4-betting the small blind. We're just cold 4-betting the big blind. Really strong. Really, really strong. I really hope this guy just has queens. Queens would be nice. Or ace king. Not aces. So this is a board I am going to... I mean, because we're in a 4-bet pot, I'm slightly more inclined to do a lot more betting than checking, but... A lot of my cold 4-betting range is not going to interact with this board, and it's going to interact slightly better with the button. So, and I've rolled 13, so going to find a very low frequency check here, and I would mostly be check raising. Maybe slightly more calling with a diamond and slightly more raising without, I believe. Keeping in his range like king queen suited of diamonds, things like that. Going to be finding a check raise on this one. I think a nice chunky check raise would be good. Because we're a little bit deeper, I mean, he can still have some hands like 10s and jacks and ace queen, ace king some of the time. I think 150. He might mostly be trying to get those in. So, but he can absolutely have hands that can still call us. We can target something like... I think he still has 10s and jacks. He's absolutely got flush draws, plenty of combos, and we're going to be check raising some hands that don't have... I was going to say, don't have the nuts like overpairs like kings. Not thrilled with the turn. I'm debating whether to bet really small or check. I'm going to check this time. I think Villain, because on the 9-high board button small blind in the 4-bet pot, I think he mostly gets in a lot of hands like queens and jacks. So I'm a little bit less... So I think he's a little bit more condensed. I'm not saying he has to have flushes, right? He can still just absolutely have 10s or jacks. That's a bad river. Because now lose to 10s and we lose to any kind of backdoor flush hand. I kind of like 10%ing here against maybe like 2 black jacks or like ace 10 of spades. And then stopping him from pure bluffing. I'm going to do that. This is what I'd absolutely do sometimes with some big flushes as well. So, or maybe a set, like a set of 10s for example. And he wins. Nice hand. Queens are good, sir, with your diamond. You scallywag. I think what he was supposed to do was mainly get that in, so I think we actually saved money in that pot. So nice hand, nice hand, nice hand, nice hand. We never run very well on these. I do believe queens is supposed to basically get it in, though. I think button on small blind. For 150, I think. We're going to play till the next big blind, and then we're going to sit out for this one. Queen 3 is a little bit loose. Queen 5 is more like we're looking at, but I'm kind of debating attacking this really tight, recreational big blind, so I'm going to do it. This is a little bit loose, though. We should really be like Queen 5-ish, kind of, and above. But against a, a tighter, shorter stack recreational, sure, why not? And that's it. That's for this one, guys. So, short and sweet. Run bad as usual. Play good. I'll take it. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Put your information and, all your comments down. Please let me know what you're thinking of the videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.